Okay, this is a review of the Campfire Audio Atlas. This is the flagship, the new flagship from the company Campfire Andromeda, which is an American company based in Portland, Oregon, which is pretty much run by a guy named Ken, and I believe they're associated with AOL Audio. I'm pretty sure. This is like the other new IEM, the more budget-friendly $200 Comet, dropped forged steel, hand polished to a mirror-like finish, with a little breather hole right in the back, same as the Comet. The first thing is that I'm pretty much over ear, not over ear. I wear my IEMs with hooks. A lot of people don't like hooks. I'm one of those odd birds that actually prefers them. So the way that this is designed, it actually fits in like this very nicely for me. If I rotate it up, you think, what is the difference? It just doesn't fit the same for me because of this little curve right here, maybe? I'm not sure, but if I put it in proper, hanging down, I get a very nice fit. If I try to hang it over my ears, and this cable is very easy to do that, I don't have the same fit. The way that it's shooting into my ear canal is not the same as it is when it's like this. So the sound quality or comfort, combination of the two, is not quite the same when I wear it over my ear. If they designed a cable that was hooked like this and allowed it to stay in this position and then go into my ear, that would probably be ideal. So if you're somebody that likes to wear your IEMs down, this would probably be one of the finer ones that are available on the market right now. I actually use hooks, so these are not ideal for me, and they're heavy because they're made out of steel. But that's an aesthetics, comfort issue. Sound-wise, these are, somebody was asking me about this. You can look at it and see it on screen. It's a DSD. You gotta look, my brother. Sorry about the cough. I'm not gonna swear in this video. I got water in my lungs, jumping off a really high cliff into the water, and whatever. Life of a moron. Okay, I'm in test tracks right now. Welcome to the machine. Needle and the Damage Done by Neil Young. This is really pretty much, as I've stated before, a guy and a guitar. Pretty much. Dun 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 dun. I believe there's a bassist in the mix, but he's kind of off in the back. He's not really prominent. It's not like you're visualizing four guys on a stage that are pretty much lined up. This is probably Neil and his guitar with a mic in a studio, and then maybe if the bassist was added, he was added later. He probably came and did his line, and then they layered that onto the final master, because I believe there is a bass line back there. But it doesn't take over or make the song sound anything less than absolutely fantastic with this setup. These sound really, really nice. So I'm 3 minutes in. Do I wreck these? I wreck that if you wear down, these are probably the best that you can get. If you don't wear down, then you're going to have to try to... I really don't think that putting these in your ear and then roping it over your ear is really something that... Someone will say, oh, I do it. Well, fucking good for you, but I did it, and I don't think it was ideal. And when you pay over $1,000, you want to have ideal. And that doesn't mean that these are not optional. That means that there's got to be someone out there that can make a cable with the memory wire. So the MMCX will connect here, and then you'll bend the memory wire and go over, which would be awesome. So it would fit in your ear, and it would stay hooked. And because I'm a very active person, I got water in my lungs from jumping off a 100-foot cliff, man, like an idiot. I do it every year, but I just wasn't ready this time, and went in the wrong way. So I'm active in a ridiculous way, and these would be more in my life if I had a way to secure them. They don't fall out and they fit really good with the foam tips, but I just have a hesitation about using these and being active and moving my body a lot. If 10 other people say they don't have that issue, well, then 10 other people are fucking fine. I'm not, and if you use ear hooks normally, you might want to check some. Whenever there's a market for something, there's a seller that'll, if there's a genuine market for a thing, then there's going to be a seller for that thing, because it takes two. You can make something, and if nobody wants it, you have nothing. And if you see a chance, you can make something. So there might be somebody right now who's buying these or looking at these and thinking, if I made a cable with a hook, and I could make these, they could be worn correctly, not upside down, and people that like ear hooks could buy my cable. So there's a business opportunity right here for the person that makes that cable. I would get it. Sound-wise, as I said before, in the Neil Young track, there is no... I didn't think, oh, these are bassy. But on the internet, that's kind of the posture of the reviewers, that these are something that got strong bass, and you should, pay attention to that, or this is not my cup of tea. And I'm listening to something like this and thinking, what are they listening to? And again, we get back to this issue that I'm going to be harping on until I get off of YouTube, which may be never. So that just made a lot of people sad. I might just keep doing this just to bother people, because there has to be somebody in the hobby that's saying, this is music gear. You're telling people that something's good. What the fuck are you listening to? I'm showing you guys constantly the stuff that I'm listening to. Here's some stuff you can look at. Swimming pools, Since I've Been Loving You, Time in a Bottle, Living Thing For. I listen to other stuff, but this is more than most people show you. Nothing in this sounds bassy, unless it's supposed to sound bassy. You get what I'm saying? So a bassy IEM to me is something that whatever you're playing, there's bass in it, and the bass that is in it is kind of bleeding into the mids, or is slow, which does the same thing. It's not recovering in time, and the mids are being affected by it, creating a veil that overcomes the entire response of the driver. That is a bassy IEM. A bass dominant IEM would be something that has a strong bass when it's in the mix. If I got a bassist, a guitarist, and a vocalist, it sounds like the bassist is maybe closest to me. And that would be something like an ASG 2.5. That would be something like the EX800 ST taped. Take the tape off and you've got something that's got only bass when it's supposed to have it. Because this is a hard metal design, and it is firing a driver that is basically the full size of the area inside this hard shell, and it's firing it directly into your ear, it does have a very, very dynamic, not loud, powerful sound. You're getting out and digging out every little detail, because it's right in your ear, and it gets a good seal. Because these fit me really good, actually. I believe these are the foam tips that came with it originally, and they fit perfect. I don't have any issue with the fit. My harping about the cable is just because everything I got really has hooks. This doesn't. The smaller Comets are lighter and right on the line of like, no problem. These are a little bit heavier though. You can hear that dung. These are, if I drop this on the screen from height, I might find out if this is Gorilla Glass, and I'm sure it's not. So these are that heavy. I'd like something that would secure them. If they were to emphasize any of the three frequencies, it would certainly be the bass. But you're going to only feel that emphasis when it's in the track in such a way. Somebody else said something like these are, depending on if you use MP3s. And does anybody use MP3s anymore? Does anybody watching this video that's going to spend $500 plus on a DAP or $500 plus on IM using MP3s? Really? What happened to you? Get with it, man. You can get lossless files easy in many places. You don't need to be using lossless files anymore. So I don't know what this does with lossless quality files, because I don't have lossless quality files because I have an internet connection, and I have a creative brain, and when I think I really would like to have a FLAC of that old supergroup, come on, there we go. I just go out and get it because I have an internet connection, because my brain's working, and because that's the way it goes. So about the scaling up depending on quality files, I'm not talking to people with MP3 files, because I don't even know why people with MP3 files would be interested in this gear. This is gear that is another level from the regular consumer stuff like iPods, and nothing wrong with that, but it's not on the same level. There are sonic improvements to be had in the upper price range. You're not going to get those with files that are cutting the top and bottom off to compress and to make the file smaller. So one of the things you need to do before you consider upgrading your gear is to upgrade your library and to get lossless and DSD when possible, or at least FLAC. If MP3 is 20% of your library, get that out and get it out. That's crap. What to say about this? The thing that's jumping out on me at me is it does have bass. It's only in there when it's mastered. I don't use them as much as I normally would, because the cable doesn't go over my ear. It can, but it just doesn't feel correct when it's up like this and in my ear, instead of down like this. You would think it doesn't make that much of a difference. I would think it by looking at it. What is the difference between this and this? Angle-wise, it's not that much. It's actually going to fire up. I can't get it to point down a little bit because of this part. Now, if I'm here, I can angle it down a little bit, and it fits in, and it gives me the sound that I like. If I turn it up like this, I'm not getting that same sound. So it's a slight issue for me as far as using it anywhere beyond the house. So in this configuration, it wouldn't be my first choice because of the cable. And it wouldn't matter if this was a gold-plated or whatever the kind of Uber cable. It's the fact that it doesn't have a hook that would allow this. And again, where there's a market, there's a way. So maybe there will be a market for someone that will want to have it like this and then run there. I guess it would pretty much look like this. It would be, memory wire coming up and over your ear, and would look about like that. That would work for me. So I might look into getting a cable like that. Somebody said that the mids were slightly veiled. I don't think so. These are not forward though to my ears. They're not the same as a couple of the hybrids that I've dealt with recently that are dedicating a driver specifically to the mid-range and pushing the vocals or the vocalist up a little bit towards you so that it's compensating for what might be a perceived V, bass, and then the treble's clear and the vocals are slightly not the same thing. I would say the same as somebody else said about this, that seems to be the case. There seems to be a slight, compared to some of the more recent multi-driver setups. I think this is about as good as you can get. I still like my EX1000s better than I like these. I switched my thinking about that, but the more that I had with them and the more that I realized that wearing them down just wasn't my thing, the practicality of it weighs into the total, review. Do I think it's a fine item? I think it's absolutely outstanding. You're not going to step on them and break them. You're not going to sit on them and break them. The reputation behind the company that makes them is outstanding. The person that represents the company. I guess he would make a better rep of the country than what we got, but he is just the company guy, not the country guy. So you've got a well-made item, you've got a well-respected company. It's not that expensive compared to a lot of what's out there right now. If this had a cable that looped up over my ear, I'd probably be much more excited about I'm spending half this video trying not to cough, because how many times do you want to hear somebody cough in a video? These had a little bit of unluck coming in about the same time that the Empire Ears Legend X came, because those are so crazy that these got lost a little bit in the shuffles. And it's not professional to, mix your opinion, but I'm not a robot, and I'm certainly not a shill, and I'm not going to not be honest and say that while I was listening to the Legend X and then going to these, that the Legend X had everything better. It had better bass. The mids, of course, because they've got specific drivers that are crossed over, tuned directly for the mids, and they do sound, in fact, slightly forward. The trebles are sparkling and nice, crystal clear. Compared to those, but those are twice the price, these were not holding up well. And then on the other side was the EX1000s, and these are debatable whether or not they're an improvement, and the EX1000s are $350. So, being straight up, no bullshit, if these had hooks and I listened to them longer, I might have a different opinion. But as it sits right now, I think these are good. I think if you wear down, which a lot of people do, by the way, they hate ear hooks, I think these would probably be one of the best you can get. If you wear over ear, you're going to have to look for the clever businessman that's going to make the cable for this that I just demonstrated. Will look probably like this as it goes over your ear. I'd buy that. That would be cool. So these will probably be revisited at a later time. But as of right now, I recommend them. I think they're great. Personally, I don't use them that much because just the wear down style. It's just a personal choice. And this is how the hobby works. Some stuff matches people, some things don't. I think for $1,000, for the people that play in that range, I think that they're a good deal. Having just said that, I think the EX1000s for $350 are debatably better. There are people that the Sony's fit is fucked, so that's not even an option. So I never wreck it to people. It's just a personal choice. Critical listening, trying to listen to audio cues, these are absolutely fantastic. They are in the same league with the EX1000s. Some people might find that as an insult. Purists certainly won't. I think that's the finest dynamic driver that's ever been mass marketed, the EX1000. And this is right there with them. So I got to say thank you to Ken. I'm going to do another video when I don't have seawater in my lungs and I have a cable that I can wear over my ears and give these another listen to. I listen to them when I get new sources, but I don't take them out. So that's it for now. That's the Campfire Audio Atlas. And I'd like to say thank you to Ken. And maybe someday he will be the leader of the country, but right now he's the leader of the company, I think. And I appreciate very much the opportunity. So this is the Campfire Audio Atlas.